Why is it that Republicans are often working hand in hand with Democrats to pass bad policy, especially in a deep blue state where the Democrats don't even need the help of Republicans? Hey, everybody, I'm Julie Barrett, founder of Conservative Ladies of America. And today I'm going to be talking to you about a bill that I testified on in Washington state earlier this week. It is Senate Bill 5007, and we put out quite a bit of content about this bill. It is a bill that's supposed to address chronic absenteeism in the public school system in Washington state. And the prime sponsor of this bill is the Senate Minority Leader, Republican John Braun. He brought this bill forward last year, and we hated it last year. And I even reached out to him last year with our concerns, hoping that I could talk with him about it and see if we could get him to either pull the bill altogether or make some amendments that would make it a little bit less bad. What this bill does, it sets up a system through the OSPI for students who are chronically absent. It redefines what chronically absent means. It means the student can miss 10% of school days and then they are considered chronically absent. These are excused and unexcused. So think about if your child had COVID that took them out of school for a couple weeks, and then you went on a vacation at some point in the year that was another couple weeks. That's 20 days. You're over the 10% because a school year is what, 180 days. So you're looking at 18 days that a student can miss. And like I said, the bill defines the chronically absent student as excused or unexcused. So if you are excusing your student, they will still fall under this chronically absent student. And then the school will be able to respond. According to the bill, among the actions that the school could take are visits to families of students who are chronically absent. They can also give academic, systemic, and economic supports for the families of students who are chronically absent. It also connects students to behavioral and physical health supports. Ding, ding, ding. I hope you're getting a red flag right now because in Washington state, the Democrats are currently trying to repeal what was done in Initiative 2081, which they call the Parents' Bill of Rights, which basically gives parents access to their students' mental health and medical health records in the public school system. It's confined to the public school system. They're trying to repeal that, and yet Republicans are pushing a bill that allows the state schools to make home visits and to provide behavioral and physical health to the child. The parents would not have access to those records. So why are we proposing a bill that is going to shut parents out? Because when you combine these together, and I've showed you guys the web of legislation before, when you combine all this stuff together, it's really, really bad. One of the things that they are seeking to repeal from this Initiative 2081, the Parents' Bill of Rights, is parents having access to their child's attendance records. So parents don't have access to medical records, parents don't have access to mental health records, and now parents don't have access to even attendance record. And you guys want to pass an attendance bill that's going to shut parents out further? This doesn't make sense. Now, John Braun went on Brandy Cruz's Undivided podcast, and she asked him about this bill. I had sent her a direct message on X, and I knew she was having him on. I said, hey, take a look at this bill. I sent her the Substack article that we wrote up about it and a video that Leslie had done on this bill and asked her to ask him about it. Well, she asked him about it, and he tells her that the conservative ladies of Washington just do not understand the bill. She didn't bother to ask him about the access to visiting families at home. She didn't ask him about the connection to repealing the Parents' Bill of Rights. But the conservative ladies of Washington simply do not understand the bill. This is the message that's been going out amongst groups on the right. The Family Policy Institute of Washington put out a call to action for people to support this bill, and their staff all signed in for the record as pro. They didn't testify, but they signed in support. The Young Republicans of Washington also signed in support. Now, here's what you need to know. All of this lawmaking, this politics, this government policy, all of it is a political swampy game. If you're paying attention to anything that's going on here in my new home state of Florida with the rhino Republicans in our legislature not doing what Governor DeSantis asked them to do with the immigration bill, you're probably understanding just how swampy even the Republican side of the aisle is. This happens in every state, it happens at a national level. And this is what's happening in Washington. You have lobbyists and special interest groups and political action committees that are all working with these legislators on both sides of the aisle. Now, Family Policy Institute of Washington, Washington Policy Center, those are policy groups. They are lobbyist groups. They are well-funded organizations. So a lot of times they have to do certain things to keep the donors happy. We at Conservative Ladies of America and Conservative Ladies of Washington were just a grassroots citizen organization. So we just do whatever we want. And if you don't like it, you don't have to support us in any way. We hope that there's value in this information that we're providing. We hope that there's value in hearing the citizen voice and actually just seeing this for what it is and being transparent and showing what's happening behind the curtain. I had no idea until my first legislative session in 2022, especially what I was seeing in education. There were so many bad education bills being passed with strong bipartisan support. I didn't understand. And then once you see the teachers unions and all these unions and lobbyists and political action committees, you start to get it and it all makes sense. But I want you to know that the citizen voice is very powerful. I testified on this bill yesterday. And at the end of my testimony, I shared the number of people that signed in. Over 1,700 concerned citizens signed in opposition to this bill today. Only 264 signed in support, many of those from PACs, lobbyist groups, and unions that serve to benefit financially from the passage of this bill.
Thank you.
But our audience is concerned citizens. It's parents. It's people like you and me. It's just regular people who want good government. It's people like my friend Eric Pratt, who I met through the testifying process. We both testified on Zoom back in 2022, and then we connected on X. And so we kind of had this partnership going as we were both testifying on a lot of the same bills. And he didn't testify on the bill, but he was doing a video on X at the time that the committee hearing was going. And he had some really interesting points about the bill and how the schools are very toxic for our children. And
with bills like 5007, I get it. You know, it's hard not to say, yeah, we want to make sure that chronic absenteeism is solved, but maybe those kids don't want to go there because it's toxic. You know, you reduce that toxicity, you make it more appealing to kids to be there, less chaotic, less depressing, less divisive, then they're going to want to go there. You're not going to solve that across the board, of course. There's always going to be a problem. But I think we're actually making it worse because we're not looking in the right direction.
And bills like this are just empowering, emboldening this dysfunctional, toxic parent that is the state. Our voices are very powerful. And that's why people in government, people in these lobbyist groups and other organizations, that's why they try to silence us by saying things like, you just don't understand the bill. One of our legislators here in Florida responded to a citizen on X saying, oh, you have 550 followers. What do you know? Really? Like, how many followers does a person have to have credibility with the representative who is elected to serve them and whose salary they pay? And I just want to encourage you to don't let those voices get you down. Don't let those keep you from speaking up. Your voice is powerful, and our children and our grandchildren need us to speak up. They need us to be the voice of truth. And I truly believe that if enough concerned citizens are willing to speak up and put themselves out there in these positions, it will create a groundswell of citizen activism that can have huge change in your local area, in your state, even on a national level. There's no limit to what we can do. And so I wanted to give you this sort of peek behind the curtain because this is what I've been seeing in the last few years as I've been digging into legislation. And I don't like it. And that's why I think we have to expose it. We have to tell people what's really going on. If we don't know what's really going on, we can't fix it. And our kids and our grandchildren deserve better than that. I've got links to all of the bills down below so you can go check them out for yourself. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this swampy behavior. So go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know your thoughts on this. And as usual, please share this video with other concerned citizens and parents. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel and be sure to turn those notifications on because many of our videos will have time-sensitive information that we need you to take action on. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for engaging, and I'll see you again next time.